What's going on, guys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to the Gold to Elite series. I've got a good video and a very well requested video, and it's basically the best tactics and formation for crossing and how to, you could say, abuse the alternator crosses. Now, just to put it out there first, I've actually never scored a header from open play in the whole of FIFA 19 up until I've made this video, but with the help of a few of my friends in top 100s who make use of headers much more than I do, I would say, on a regular basis, have advised me on what's the best tactics and formations to use. But I have tested it out, and surprisingly, it is very easy. Now, the formation we're going to use is the 4-2-3-1. Why? Because I kind of want to give you a formation which is also good for heading, but also good to play with. And because 4-2-3-1 seems like to be the meta this year, because it's got it's good defensively, and you got the two wide cams. But as I said, I don't cross, but the footage from this clip will all be from me crossing. So the first thing you probably want to know is what's the actual tactics. Well, I think drop back is going to be the main thing now. I mean, even if you play a high offensive line and you play attacking football like I do, and you don't part the bus, you do find that when you do get countered, if you have balanced or pressure on heavy touch, I feel like you get countered a lot more. So that's why I leave it on drop back. Now for the crossing, the defensive width's not that important. I mean, I was try to stick between the 4 to 5 regions because you kind of want to cover the wide areas, because these are kind of the areas where people are going to be using the back post crosses. So keep the width the same, the depth. I mean, if you're the kind of person that parks the bus, I mean, I don't advocate, but feel free to use one depth, since I know a lot of players are doing that now. But the lowest I'll probably go is 3. I normally play 7 or 4, depending on what I'm trying to do in the game. But whatever depth you use, it shouldn't be that effective. But what I would say is, do keep in mind the lower depth you have, the later the players will make the runs in the box. What I mean by that is, if you have a high defensive width, when you do win the ball back, your players will be much more higher up. So it might be easier for the crosses for them to come into the box. But if you have a lower depth, bear in mind that when you do win the ball back, your players will be much more further back, so it'll take a much more longer time for them to run into the box. So you might have to hold up the play when you have the ball on the wing. So do keep that in mind. Now, offensive style, I'll probably say balance is probably the best. You can do fast build-up play, but I think that just rushes it too much. I think balance is kind of the best, and this at least allows you to play the normal way of playing and to use crosses as well. Now, width. With a 4-2-3-1, I don't think width is that important. I mean, I don't see that much of a difference between 5 and 7 width. What you can do in game is you can change your width. I mean, the custom tactics to hug the sidelines. So if you do feel like, for example, you want your players to be much more wide apart, you can use hug to sidelines. But I'll probably keep this on 5. Now, the most important thing is players in the box. Now, understand with this kind of you could say, I wouldn't say heat map, but let's just say a bird's eye view. You can kind of see a visual depiction of where the players are. Now, I don't think it's good to have 9 or 8. The problem is with 8, I think that you're a bit too vulnerable outside the box. You kind of only have, even with a 4-2-3-1, I think you're a bit vulnerable for the counter attack. This is where players have, their players on stay forward, and if you happen to lose the ball, a simple lob ball in behind will kill you. So I think you kind of want to lock out a maximum at 7. I think 7 is a sweet spot. 7 is the one I use, so I'd recommend 7. And of course, corners and free kicks. I mean, it probably will be best to probably put these on 4 to get the headers. Now, I would say this is the most important instructions. Now, in my opinion, you kind of want a good striker. This kind of depends on how you play. I would say stay central, stay forward. If you want to abuse the headers, then target man. If not, just leave this unbalanced. I think target man sometimes can make it a bit predictable, a bit too predictable. So if you want to kind of change your play up, then leave this unbalanced. But the most important thing with this formation is the actual wide cams. Now, I have my center cam on stay forward just because he's the kind of link up player. But you're going to see is all my players, all my 3 cams, all have get into the box. Now, the reason for that is you kind of want the best headers in this position, because these are the players that are going to be running late into the box and be running to the back post cross. So what I'm trying to say is these cams, these wide cams, are going to be the players that will be going to the far back post. So when you do a cross from the wide wing, the cross will be going to the back post towards these players. So ideally you'd want players like, I mean, of course, if you can afford them, Team of the Year Mbappe is one of the very good players, and Team of the Year Ronaldo's. But obviously if you're on a budget and that's out of your budget, you know, normal Ronaldo is pretty good. But for the cheaper ones, you know, if you did Ibra SBC, Arnautovic Headliner, or Gareth Bale, they're the kind of players you want in this area over here. So they're going to be in the best places to score the crosses. That's why you see a lot of good players. People who abuse the alternator crosses especially have the best headers, especially in the pro scene. You see Ronaldo's as a ram a lot more, and maybe Mbappe as a lamb, and maybe R9 up front. That's what I would say, but make sure you have them all on and get into the box. Now, in terms of defensive support, in my opinion, I think it's best to leave them on balance, because you kind of want them to defend as well. I think if you had them on stay forward, I feel like they're a bit too attacking. But I think also the good thing with balanced is I think they always make the late runs into the box. With stay forward, they kind of always linger kind of in this area, and I think it's easier to defend against. But I think the best way to score with your left attacking mids, your right attacking mids, is, let's say you're defending, and let's say you win the ball back. Players like for example, Pogba and Promes in this instance will be making late runs into the box. Now, late runs is what catches the opposition off guard, especially if you manually defend like I do, and you try to man mark the player in the box. It's really hard to defend a player that comes late into the box, because you can't really see it apart from seeing it in your peripheral vision. So I'd recommend these to be unbalanced, but of course you can leave them on stay forward. Now, free form, I'm not really touched it too much. And my friends who are at top 100 for headers, they don't really recommend it, because they prefer the players to be in the wing positions, because they said that when they do a 1-2, they kind of want these players to go down the wing and do a back post cross, so the far cam can reach, if that makes sense. So they don't want them. They want them to be on the sidelines, kind of hugging the sidelines, you could say, in some sense, there to be ready to cross the ball in. Again, ideally you want 5-star skillers here. Players like Ronaldo can do the alternator crosses. Players like Mbappe and players like Ibrahimovic are very good in these positions here. And that's what I'd say. I would say if you are having difficulty, you can of course ask one of your CDMs to run forward into the box on get forward if you want, or balanced if you are losing and you think you need an extra man to come into the box. Try to get your tallest player. Sterling's not a good example here, but if you have someone like Goretzka or you have a Vieira or Hullet, that's a better example. Just for you, in case you're wondering, I leave my CDMs on cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, and cover center. Now, for the fullbacks, this kind of just depends. I would say if you have someone like Marcelo, who's got 5-star skill moves, you kind of want them for the El Tornadoes. So I would say leave them on balanced if you can. But the most important thing is you want these on overlap. The reason why overlap is so important is when you do get a chance, and let's say your fullback does go forward, you don't want them to be making inverted runs, because if they're making inverted runs, what's going to happen is let's say Dauber makes inverted run, he's going to go in between Promes and Ben Yedder in this instance, and that means Promes is naturally going to be out wide. Now, you don't really want that, because let's say for example, you get a cross with Pogba, the person is kind of going to be in this area. It won't be Promes and it won't be Dauber. It kind of be your other cam. So the key is you kind of want your left backs and right backs on overlap. So what that's going to do is, first of all, let's say this is Marcelo. He will make an overlapping run. So he will be in a perfect position for an alternator cross, back post, for example, to Paul Pogba, who's a very good player. But more importantly, when he makes an overlapping run, naturally, Promes is going to be running inwards, if that makes sense. So he will be there for the near post cross. That's why I'd recommend overlap. It's probably the most important for your left backs and right backs. That's what I'd say to take away. If you are going to take away one thing from this video, just one thing, try to leave your left back and right backs on overlap if you bring them forward for the attack, and try to leave your cams on, all of your cams on get into the box is what I highly recommend. Anyway, that's the video, guys. If you are struggling in game and you feel like the game is getting away from you, what you can do is you can use the quick tactics, which is using the D-pad. You can just press up on your D-pad to get the attacking tactics up, and you can enable get into the box, which basically this allows an extra player to get into a box, or an extra striker, which means someone from your midfield will drop into a striker position. Bit more for the headers, you could say. because you want most players as you can in the box. But in my opinion, I wouldn't go above. I mean, unless you're in the final minute of the game and you're going all out, do not go above 7. I think when you go to 8, you're dangerously in the territory of getting counter-attacked. So I think 7 is kind of the max. It's kind of the, almost you could say, the most efficient, because too few, you kind of want a bit more, and there's too many, you're going to get countered. So I think 7 is a sweet spot, the best of all worlds, the kind of the optimum point, I would say. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, I have the footage I used is from my clips. I've actually never ever scored so many headed goals than I have, I think, in my entire life playing FIFA. I'm being genuine serious here. I think I crossed the ball in God knows how many times. I think I crossed the ball in more times in the 5 games I got the footage from than I have probably in my entire FIFA career. Well, a headed ball in the box anyway. But if you can, also try to get players like Crespo. I'd highly recommend for specific players. If you can get players like Crespo, the reason why is players like Hernan Crespo is they have this the special trait. I think this card has it, but he's 6 foot. He's got good jumping, but he has the power headed trait. I think it's this version has got the power headed trait. I'm not sure, but the power headed trait is really good. If you know how to do a driven, you know how you do, for example, a driven shot where you hold L1 and R1 by default after you hit the shot. If you can do a driven header with someone with a power headed trait, the ball's going in, the goalkeeper can't stop it. So I'd highly recommend players that if you can afford it. As I said, if you can't, you always have some players like Bale. And if you're on a really cheap spectrum, cheap Arnautovic or cheap Aduriz should do the job. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any more feedback or any questions, please let me know in the comment section down below. And if I can't answer any of them, I'll ask my friends who are more prolific, you could say, at heading, for the answers. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you have any suggestions for more of Gold to Elite series, please let me know. I'm probably going to be working on a kickoff glitch video, which is going to be coming very soon as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.